Ibu, kami mohon dapat menempati tempat di luar untuk kita mulai pengguntingan kita untuk opening ceremony. Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu. Karena acara pengguntingan kita untuk opening ceremony akan segera dimulai, kami mohon perkenan Bapak Ibu untuk menempati tempat di depan Indonesia Pavilion. Terima kasih. Masih di luar. Agak aneh kalau ditanya secure You can stay there. Just stay there. Ceremony, it's a ceremony. You can stay there.
Captivating ideas from the business forums held throughout See what the nation has to offer to preserve its nature, culture, and future. Join the expedition of Indonesia's growth and participate in the journey for a better tomorrow. We want you to come aboard the Indonesian Pavilion. From the 13th of April to the 30th of October at Expo 2025 Osaka, Kansai.
As the world economy continues to evolve, those who strive are those with strong resolve. Indonesia is where such resolve abounds. The right place for your business to get off the ground. A bright spot in an otherwise uncertain time. With the strategic downstream industry on the clock. Indonesia, your better tomorrow.
Alhamdulillah, hendak menyetujui tujuh usaha PT bisa membuka lapangan kerja.
Oktober kemarin dapat beasiswa, sering banget bisa bikin bangga dan ringanin beban ibu.
Beta senang ada motor, tapi motor listrik ini bisa sewa. Jadi puji Tuhan, beta bisa dapat uang sering pakai modal.
Bagi yang Maha Kuasa, kita syukur kepada Yang Maha Esa.
Yang sama percaya satu asa, maju bersama sebagai satu bangsa.
Future for all. And now, for the moment we have all been eagerly waiting, I have the distinct honor of inviting His Excellency Mr. Rosan Perkasa Roslani, Minister of Investment and Downstream Industry, also the Chairman of Investment Coordinating Board of the Republic of Indonesia and spouse, and also His Excellency Mr. Febrian Alfianto Rudyard, Vice Minister of National Development Planning, Vice Chairman of National Development Agency, and Mr. Anindya Novian Bakri, Chairman of Indonesian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, to take the spot to officiate the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Indonesia Pavilion 2025. Please join me for a round of applause and witness the official opening of the Pavilion 2025. 3, 2, 1. The potential of our nation and exciting opportunities that lie. Indonesia Indonesia Pavilion. Okay, I think it's better. It's better here for us. Silakan Pak Anin. Not speak. Oh, sambutan. Okay, yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attendance, please? And as we begin opening our Indonesia Pavilion, we would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Rosan Rosani to give a slide keynote speech for the opening of the Indonesia Pavilion 2025. Mr. Rosan, the stage is yours. And for our distinguished guests, please be seated because we will begin shortly our event today as we officiate the opening of our pavilion, Indonesia Pavilion. And the stage is yours, Pak Rosan.
Well, thank you. Very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank all the agencies, the secretaries, and all of you for taking time to come to our pavilion today. Finally, Indonesia is back in Davos. We are very excited because under the new leadership of Pak Prabowo, definitely we are becoming more open. And the strong message also from President Prabowo that Indonesia we have to engage actively in a lot of different multilateral, bilateral foray, and to show that Indonesia will have more presence in the world. And definitely we would like to collaborate and synergize with a lot of different stakeholders, especially abroad, because Indonesia we are committed to have a net zero emission by 2060 or sooner with the support of the foreign party. And well, I wouldn't bore you with my long speech, but because we will have a session today, and hopefully the session will have a very fruitful discussion and productive discussion. And at the same time, please also enjoy our coffee, Indonesian coffee. I think we have a different kind of coffee from Indonesia, and also at the same time some culinary. Hopefully you will enjoy our coffee and also our culinary here in our coffee. Well, again, we are very thankful for your presence here, and hopefully you will enjoy the session, the event today in our pavilion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Excellency, Mr. Rosan. And as we opening our Indonesia Pavilion, it's gonna be remarked with several panel discussion. And the first panel discussion will be led and moderated by Deputy Minister for Investment Promotion, Bapak Nurul Ikhwan. Pak Nurul, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Silakan.
Good morning, everyone. Indeed, warm welcome to all of you to our pavilion. And apologize that our pavilion now is not sufficient enough to accommodate all of you, but it is a kind of indication. Actually, I just would like to say that we just would like to wait again asking for bigger facilitations that we are going to provide for the next year. And now
We are very firm that we are coming again for the next years from here with much more bigger pavilion and hopefully much more VVIP coming, including the leaders of our countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a big pleasure for me to be chairing for this, to be moderated for this morning sessions. And we have our Minister, His Excellency Ambassador Rosan Roslani, that will be also accompanied by our the other speakers that will be Vice Minister
of National Development Planning, Vice Chairman of Bappenas,
Febrian Rudyat. Okay, so welcome. So I think we know that if, let's say, we have too long distances among us, since this is very cold in Davos, so making this becoming packed is better. It is warmer. It's just a positive side of us to think about this. Yes, Pak Menteri and Pak Wamen, it is a good opportunity for us to share about Indonesia
And in regard to WDR, like from both of you, what would be
operations and how would Indonesia navigate itself achieving the 2045 of golden visions of Indonesia, because we know that the challenges is very complicated. At one side we have also our features that we are very rich in natural resources, and we have also promise of demographic. At one side it is very good, but on the other side, if we fail in managing this kind of quality of our human capital, this will not be going to be a kind of support to the development of Indonesia. So in this regard, I just would like to give the floor to Pak Menteri first, or to Pak Menteri, from your standpoint, the new policy, and especially highlighting about the things coming from the Ministry of Investment in these visions of Indonesia 2045. Floor is yours, Pak. Well, hopefully you can see me here. Again, I would like to welcome you to Indonesia Pavilion today. And Indonesia, definitely we are becoming more open country, like I mentioned earlier. And we have a very ambitious target for the next 5 years to reach a target of 8% economic growth. So how do we achieve that? From our standpoint, actually, if you look at our economic growth structure, mostly 53 to 54% come from our domestic consumption, and then 24 to 25% come from our investment. About 8 to 9% come from government spending, and then net exports about 2%. So definitely investment will play a significant role for Indonesia to achieving those 8% goals. But in the same time, we strongly believe that we will have a sustainable growth if the people in Indonesia also growing with us, meaning that we have to strengthen our human capital. I think that's the key, because if we look currently at the structure of our labor force, we are, if we may say, according to Ministry of Labor in Indonesia, still the majority, about 40%, the economic background come from elementary school, 18% with high school, only 12 to 13% with the background education of diploma or university. So definitely, we need to work on strengthening our human capital, in the same time upscaling, rescaling, and improving the productivity in Indonesia. So in the same time, we know that we cannot put everybody into college, right? Put everybody into the university. So that's why Indonesia, we come up with the program of vocational training and education. So, and we would like to all the companies, domestic companies, foreign companies, to participate in this vocational training and education, because it's very, very important. So that's why at the same time, we also give a fiscal incentive since 2022. If companies participate in our vocational training and education, then they will enjoy up to 200% of a fiscal incentive, a tax incentive. So that's why I think it's, working with a lot of chambers also. Today we also have Bapak Anian Bakri, the chairman of Indonesian Chambers, because usually in vocational training and education we work with different foreign chambers, and at this moment, I think Pak Anian mentioned to me, also Indonesian chambers will work with Swiss chambers in order to again improve our human capital in the term of vocational training and education. But if you look at the goals of
the goals 45,
with our human resources. So, we are, and we still can enjoy this coffee until 9.
Have a good talent, a good pool of talent, because having FDI in Indonesia, but without having a good talent, it will create, inefficiency and also issue in the future. So again, we obviously we have abundance of resources, natural resources. So that's why in the new government, our ministry not only investment but also the government put it the downstream industry, meaning the value added. We would like to capture the value added. We would like to have the industrialization of in Indonesia. Why? Because we need to create more jobs. That's the biggest challenge for Indonesia, creating more jobs. Why? Because every year we are producing about 2.4 to 2.5 million babies in average. So every 2 years, sometimes I make a jokes to my team, we're producing one Singapore. Right? Because Singapore population is about 5.5 to 5.7 million. So creating quality jobs, I think that's our biggest challenge. So that's why having this downstreaming, having this value added, having this industrialization, at the end we want to create more quality jobs for Indonesian, and in the same time we would like to have sustainable growth. Well, I will touch later on maybe in renewable energy, but I don't want to monopolize all the discussion with me, so I will share it also to the Vice Ministry of Indonesian Planning. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Applause for Minister Roslani. Thank you so much for your insight. Yes, so having a strategy for a good pool talent and then also reach with the natural resources is one of the features of Indonesia we promote in this event as well. But then we know that the situations globally, we are not in very good situations and condition as well, knowing that geopolitically is very challenging, and this will also giving a kind of impact into the economic constellations. And in this regard, we just would like to hear policy coming from the government, and especially coming from the Ministry of National Development Planning, and in terms of how would be this strategy in navigating the growth of economic that was designed to 6 to 8% annually as our economic growth. We would like to hear more coming from your side, sir, please.
Well, thank you so much, Ed. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and colleagues, Honorable Ambassador Minister Roslani, and of course all colleagues. Very good chilly morning. This is Davos. So if not chilly, it's not Davos. Maybe we will somewhere else, Interlaken or somewhere else. But first of all, I would like to thank for giving me the opportunity, sharing with you about how we in the National Development Planning Agency or National Development Planning Ministry try to lay out the grand plan that we're going to proceed with all of those objectives that has been laid forward by President Prabowo. And now, I've just been a Vice Minister for 3 months barely. So do this script that I had, so I'm not giving you a foreign policy brief in this particular discussion. So 2045 is very important for Indonesia because it's not only centennial, but within this period, we will have the so-called, the moderator say, bonus democracy. It is not once in 100 years' time we have this. And if we miss to utilize this maximally, I believe we will not have it during our lifetime. So I think as we prepare for those centennial celebration, we have aspiration to become a prosperous, high-income nation, which is not only inclusive, but also sustainable and resilient. I think that is very important. But I will be very honest with you that it's not without challenge. It's not a smooth sailing. It's not like working in the garden, in the summer garden, but we have also faces several changes. We know that we must address these challenges, not only by government, but by all of those national components of our countries. First, we have a challenges in Indonesia productivity. It remains significantly lower compared to other nations, particularly in agriculture and industry. Meanwhile, developed countries like Japan and South Korea have demonstrated exceptionally high productivity, particularly in their industrial sector. A large segment of Indonesia workforce now is employed in non-productive sectors. Second challenge, our human capital productivity is below the global average, as reflected by lower PISA scores and also lower human capital index compared to our neighboring countries like Malaysia and Singapore. Third, investment efficiency remain a challenge. This will be the really homework for Menteri to be able to create a conducive ecosystem for us to be able to keep up with this challenge. We have a persistently high incremental capital output ratio, or ICOR, compared to other countries such as Vietnam and Malaysia and the United States or Germany. To address these challenges, ladies and gentlemen, and to achieve our goal for Golden Indonesia 2045, Bappenas, or the Ministry of National Development Planning, we have formulated a transformative strategy which built on 3 core pillars. First, social transformation. What we mean by social transformation is empowering our people to become more skilled and more productive. Second, we do economic transformation. So if we talk about transformation, transformative strategy that we do, first is on the social transformation, second is economic transformation. We unlock new growth drivers and also innovation. And third, governance transformation, which we're going to create an enabling environment for investment and economic activity through adaptive and effective governance. But this transformation will also need to be equipped with the transformation foundation that will consist of law supremacy, stability, and Indonesia leadership, and also social, cultural, and ecological resilience. In addition to this pillar, ladies and gentlemen, successful implementation will require at least 3 key means of implementation. First, we must be able to promoting regional development with equality and justice. Second, we should ensure quality and sustainable infrastructure development. And third, maintaining continuity of development efforts across administration. And these strategies has also need to be aligned with the 17 development direction that build upon the 8 development agendas in line with the SDGs. That will be our new credo, in line with SDGs. At the heart of this transformation, then lies productivity. To achieve a significant growth, productivity must be the driving force, and leveraging Indonesia's existing capital to spur further economic progress. Social transformation will play a crucial role in fostering generation of skilled and productive individuals, and this transformation will be driven, including but not limited to, increasing the number of STEM graduates and educators, improving access to higher education, and the quality of vocational education, redesigning study and training program to address labor market challenges and also align with modern economic demands. Economic transformation objective is to unlock new source of growth and innovation. Key strategies of the economic transformation will include downstreaming industry and priority sectors. So this will be Pak Roslan work, such as medium high technology and creative industry, creating more formal jobs in productive sector by strengthening the employment climate and supporting SMEs through expanded access to finance and innovative business solution. And also, last but not least, implementing a green economy with focusing on low carbon development and circular economic acceleration. Governance transformation will ensure a conducive investment climate, and we will focusing on adaptive and principled regulation, effective and streamlined business processes, inclusive and quality public services, and a government digitalization to improve efficiency and transparency. Ladies and gentlemen, the Midterm National Development Plan 2025-2029 outlines Indonesia medium-term development target. Our primary goal is to achieve 8% in economic growth by 2020. Which will raise our GNI per capita to $. $8,000. This growth will be driven by production sectors, expenditure drivers, adaptive fiscal policy to ensure stability. We aim to maintain a low current account deficit, and private investment, which is expected to play a significant role, which need to be contributed over 80% of economic growth. Regional growth will also be balanced, and with Western Indonesia projected to grow at 7.7% and Eastern Indonesia at 8.8% by 2029. We have outlined strategies that we call as 8 strategy plus 1 step that will drive medium-term growth in agricultural productivity to achieve food self-sufficiency through modernization, promoting local crops like sago and cassava, and downstreaming industry. We will enhance value-added production of natural resources-based industry for improving domestic value-added. Development industrial areas or special economic zone, and the zone will be built based on regional characteristic as a new growth center. Green industry, promote a co-industrial park, decarbonization strategy and circular economy, tourism development, blue economy, urban-rural growth, and digital transformation to enhance our ICT infrastructure, strengthen digital skill, and also to integrate digital solution into public services and economic activities. Various investment strategy to achieve economic growth target of 8%, such as incentive and facilitation of investment and investment development will be based on regional advantages. Medium-term planning has also been integrated with the presidential priorities, such as free nutritious meals program, targeting 82 million people, reflect our commitment to inclusive development while supporting the goal of 8% of economic growth. Last but not least, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our journey toward Golden Indonesia 2045 will require collective effort, bold innovation, and strategic partnership. And by addressing these challenges, seizing these opportunities, and fostering collaboration, we can transform Indonesia into a nation that leads by example on the global stage. And we invite you to work together with us to create a prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable Indonesia.
Strategies are focused in development of our investment. So we just would like to know, from hearing from your side, what would be this policy of streamlining? What would be this policy of streamlining the licensing process and procedures that could be much more easier as related with this ICOR contributed into this process of licensing as well, that will create also another higher cost. So is there any new strategies that will be supported by the new administration, streamlining the policy in the licensings and also attracting investment to come to Indonesia?
Yes, Pak. Okay, thank you, Pak Nurul. Well, mentioned earlier by Pak Febri that we have this ICOR. This ICOR is incremental capital output ratio. So the amount that investment that you put in the country, and then the output come in a certain numbers. So far for Indonesia, our ICOR number is like 6.4, 6.5. You compare it with Malaysia, for example, or Thailand, this is around 4.4 to 4.5. So meaning that Indonesia, we have more investment, but the output of the investment itself is not too optimal. So again, the issue is about the productivity, cut the red tape. So that's why in our ministry now we are trying to simplifying a lot of rules, policy, and regulation. Our government addressed this issue by having this omnibus law job creation in 2021-2022. And in our ministry, for example, I discussed it with the president about this issue. I think most of you that already invest in Indonesia, for example, you find the difficulties, the discrepancy between the local government regulation and the central government regulation, the rule of law. That's, I think, our biggest challenge. So we are going to centralize all the permits, the licenses in our ministry. So we work with 18 different ministries and agencies in Indonesia to give the authority to us to issue this permit and licenses. So hopefully it will simplifying a lot of process in Indonesia. So hopefully by next month, actually February, the president will issue the presidential decree about this issue. So everything will be centralized in our ministry, including to issue a fiscal incentive. So I think that's one of the good policy that hopefully we will issue very soon. Hopefully by early next month in February. That's the first one. And why downstream is very important in Indonesia, especially to achieve the 8% economic growth. Because if we look at the history since 2 or 3 years ago, the investment come from downstream industry counted about 22% to 20% of our total investment in Indonesia. I'm taking maybe one example, nickel, for example. I think most of you not really aware that Indonesia we are the number one, we have number one reserve in the world of nickel, which is about 42%. About 42%. And actually nickel is the primary raw material for EV battery. For EV battery together with manganite, with cobalt. And we put the export control actually since 2020 actually, or even earlier, 2019. We put the export control in nickel. So you have to have the value added, the manufacturing for nickel in Indonesia. So if you look at the number, when we just export raw nickel back in 2016, our export is about 3.4 billion US dollar back then in 2017. Now in 2024, our process of nickel counted about 30.4 billion US dollar. 30.4 billion US dollar. At the same time, we are creating more jobs in Indonesia. Yes, we have some issue in a lot of different countries when we put the export control. But if you come to Indonesia now, we have the whole ecosystem of EV battery manufacturing, from the mining, from the process of the EV battery, from the cell pack, even all the way to the cycle of the EV battery. The investment comes from Korea, from China, from UK, even from the US. So we would like to have industry, maybe seaweed, because Indonesia is the second biggest producer of seaweed. But if you are talking about tropical seaweed, actually Indonesia, we are the number one tropical producer of seaweed. Oh, good. You have this slide. I don't know. So actually, let me stand there. Actually, if you look at this map, maybe some of you will surprise knowing that Indonesia, for example, activate this into implementation and create more economic growth in Indonesia. So I think we are going to start prioritize on 5 or 6 industry in the downstream, and the potential of downstream industry, according to our assessment, it will create the opportunity of investment close to $618 billion until 2040. So yes, this is a very huge task, a big challenge for us, but we strongly believe with this, if we can collaborate and work together with a lot of different parties, with a foreign party, we can achieve this goal. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, the Minister. So, ladies and gentlemen, so we know that Indonesia is having a huge opportunity for investment. So, knowing that this archipelagic country, you have, let's say, out of these 6 of opportunities, you may come to the ministry, and we are more than happy to facilitate you for this. And moving forward, we know, Pak, you did mention that human capital index of Indonesia and then also productivity of human capital in Indonesia is still very low. But knowing of the competitions in the future, that competitiveness will be contributed into the efficiency of production's process. And I guess this should be strategy initiated by the Ministry of National Planning. How would be the collaborations of
let's say we could say triple helix or whatever will be the design that will link between government institutions to provide the infrastructure of policy, and then also from the industry, and also universities of center of excellence, that they could collaborate to produce better productive human resource and match with the demand of the industry for the future competitions of Indonesia. And maybe later on, I would like also to
And secondly, I think there are so many instances now that the vocational training become more important rather than the formal training like a graduation with a degree. Because this is really answering the needs of the industry sector. So this is a big job for all of us, not only the government, but also the industry, to make sure that they have a very clear requirement what kind of workforce that they need for their expansion in their activity. So this is the thing that we are working. We're not working alone. We're working with Ministry of Education and also Ministry for the vocational issue, especially with the regional government. Because we have seen so many gaps between the capacity in the regional government with the national government. So has to be a bridge that could link those capacity, or at least some capacity building by not only by industry, but I think of course by government it has to be, but by the industry to be able to work together with regional government to make sure that they're producing, that their policy is in line with the need that been posed by the industry sector.
Thank you, Pak. So we do hope that we are going to see more conducive regulation.
Corporations, big and small, including small, medium enterprises and also cooperatives, are required by law to be members of Kadin. Kadin is the strategic partner of the government to make it happen. And by the way, the reason why Pak Rosan, among others, is very conversant is because he was also chairman of Kadin. So at least you see how the president select the capable members of the cabinet. And I think if we look at Indonesia, I think one, it has the size that can move the needle. People basically talk about two eyes for the center of growth nowadays, Indonesia and India. And by the way, this coming weekend, the two countries' leaders are going to meet and discuss many things. But Jokowi, we have been growing, consistently 5 years or so. Inflation at bay, give and take 3-4%, which is a source of envy for a lot of countries promoting over here, right? And lastly, I think the momentum is good because, like what Febi, they are creative, innovative, consumptive, and they want to drive change and change, make money in Indonesia. I think that's important. And what you need, I think, is a partner. And collaboration, one more thing I want to say, we need money, we need technology, but all the ingredients are there for us to put together and ultimately make you feel comfortable and be responsible when you invest in Indonesia. Thank you. Thank you, Pak Menteri.
Thank you. Applause for Pak Ladies and gentlemen, it's clear that the government side coming from the Ministry of Investment and then also National Development Planning, and even coming from the community of private sectors, it is already showing a very good collaborations and cooperations among others. And just to add the informations for our collaborations, even when you are looking for partners for doing business in Indonesia, Kadin is more than happy to facilitate and introducing the members of Kadin to be the partner for your business in Indonesia. Because we know that coming from many investors, they keep asking us if, let's say, they don't have any sufficient understanding of doing business in Indonesia, local partner is playing very significant role. So do not hesitate to contact Pak Anin or other Kadin organizers to check and to find the best of your potential partners to run your business in Indonesia. Right now, this is time for the floors. You may ask the questions. Please introduce yourself and to whom the questions will be addressed. And yes, please, I would like to give the first 3 questions coming from the floor. Any?
Good morning.
Yes, please.
I'm Alex.
Yes.
Working for a company called Asia Green. We have been investing in Indonesia since 10 years. Pak Nurul, we know each other. Nice to meet you again. I have a question regarding the policy around currency. It is obvious that Indonesia rupiah is depreciating against the US dollar over the years. That would be my question.
Thank you, Alex. Next to Alex, the second question. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for the detailed presentations. My question really workforce, and that's part of an ESG protocol that we are pushing within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but also we want to look at investment, and there are private entities which are keen on investing in the mining sector. So I just want to understand that a bit more perhaps from the minister himself, and that would be good for me to feedback to my the family houses which I work with.
All right. Thank you so much. Any other one else, or we just work with these two questions first? Yeah, Pak Menteri. I guess the first question coming from Alec is for both of you. What would be the strategy from our side fighting against the depreciations of our rupiahs against dollars? Please, Pak.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you, Alex, for your question. Actually, is about, well, obviously, we would like to maintain a stable our rupiah denomination, but again, it depends on supply and demand, right? And I think most of the country now, most of the country have pressure by the U.S. dollar. Then we see U.S. dollar is strengthening for the past, actually, especially for the past couple of months. But for us, what we would like to send a message that we would like to have a stable rupiah, our currency, and the predictability, I think, is very important for Indonesia. So we always come up with the initial plan for Indonesia in terms of economic growth, in terms of how we would like to maintain our currency. But the most important thing also, we are very open. We don't, we don't put any limitation for our currency or U.S. dollar in and out from Indonesia. I think that's most important for investors. And obviously, they have their own assessment about the rupiah. Well, can be good, can be bad, but also the planning from the government. If we would like also to increase our export. So in the same time, our central bank is always try to make sure that rupiah is acceptable, and we don't have any issue in accessibility of rupiah or even US dollar, because we know that every investment in Indonesia, you need to pay a dividend out. You need to get your investment back to your respected country, and we are very open on that part. So again, maybe the question is more appropriate you addressing to the Prime Minister of Planning. But for a green investment, definitely we are pushing actually for the green investment, and we come up with a lot of incentive in terms of tax holiday, tax allowance, actually up to 20%. And especially for Indonesia, we have a huge potential in renewable energy. Our potential is actually up to 3,678 gigawatts. It comes from the solar, from the tidal, from the wind, from the hydro, and also from geothermal. Now, actually, our government really pushing on the geothermal, because again, in Indonesia, we have one of the largest reserve of geothermal in the country, especially in Java area and the Sumatra area. And that's why we are putting a lot of resources in geothermal. We are working a lot with a foreign party, especially from Japan, and also with Korea. And we, because currently, if you look at the potential, is more than actually close to 3,700 gigawatts. But currently the installed capacity is less than 1%. It's only 13.1 gigawatt. So, and we already committed of NDC, net zero emission, by 2060. So we have to, we have to come up with our plan and also implementation towards 2060 of net zero emission. So that's why the green investment will have a lot of incentive from our government, from fiscal, non-fiscal incentive. And we are also pushing our mining industry to go into a green industry. And at the same time, we actually, when they start to come up with the production plan, so they also have to submit how they can reduce the carbon emission. So not only when the company already operate, but now every investment in Indonesia, if they also come up with the plan how they can reduce the carbon emission, so they will also can get incentive. So we work with a lot of, and the incentive itself, actually, we can issue it with our ministry. So you don't need to go to the Ministry of Finance to get a fiscal incentive now. So again, our Ministry of Investment can issue that licenses, because ESG is, for us, is very important. That's why our government we are keep reforming our policy, our regulation, because in the same time, we are competing with our neighboring countries, for example, in attracting more investment to Indonesia. So we would like to have the investment that come to Indonesia, which is export oriented, but also in the same time is can create a sustainable growth and improving our human capital. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes, if I may add a point that has been mentioned by Minister Rosan on the question by Alex on the issue of Indonesian currency. The only thing that hit it most by the planner is unpredictability. So if you talk about currency, for us, the stability is one issue, and that we like most. As a planner, you will do anything to avoid unpredictability. Like in a foreign policy, surprises is the most hated part. I talked to James last night. We hate surprises in the diplomatic life, but we hate unpredictability in the planning exercise. So it's important to keep the stability. The level itself, it will be defined by the market. So accessibility, acceptability, like has been mentioned by Pak Rosan, is quite very important. But I think the ability for the government to maintain the predictability of the current exchange rate is very utmost important on that particular issue. Thank you, Pak Nur.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Pak Febrian. Yes. I guess something as well that we need also to see, Pak, in terms of this currency. So is there any strategy from the government having a kind of differentiations of, let's say, transaction-wise between, let's say, Indonesia with the investors or the trading partners that we are having? Like, let's say, we don't have to use only dollar denominations, or is it something that has been discussed between government of Indonesia with, let's say, our partners in the industry, or even maybe in the private sectors, the possibility of having this kind of differentiations?
I think it's always a dream for a country not using or pack into one certain currency. And the discussion on that is quite sometimes in the region, even sometimes in G20, even in the BRICS, if you're following. And it's always some resistance on that particular issue. So for me, it's more like a political issues. I mean, it's not irrelevant to what political issues on the using of local currency in or certain currency, but it will be defined by the market, to be honest.
Yeah.
How far the market will be able to accept those, and the consequences, political consequences. You vividly remember when one country said that if BRIC using this certain currency, and there will be some repercussion on that. So this is just a very small example on that. But I think the discussion on the using of the certain currencies, I think has been there sometimes. Even maybe Indonesia has been doing bilaterally or trilaterally with other countries, but I think it is a good idea to develop this and see how the political ramification of this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. More questions coming from the floor, please. All right, wait. Oh, yeah, sure. Please. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Sorry about that. Yes.
And apologies, I was stuck in the traffic, so I was a bit late. So if you addressed at the beginning of the panel this question. So I know that the Indonesia is in the process of the accession to the OECD. Yeah. So how this process is going and where we stand, I'm sure that this will also help to attract even more investments in Indonesia. Thank you. I'm Anna from JTI.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Yeah. Pak James? Is that?
Go ahead, answer that question.
Oh, yeah. Please. Both Pak Rosan or Pak Fabian, you may answer the questions from Anna. Thank you, Anna, for the questions. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you for your question. Yeah, we are in the process to becoming the OECD member, and we think it's very important for Indonesia to become the OECD member. Also, it will send a positive signal that Indonesia, would like to have a better standard in a lot of different sectors. Because the guideline from our leaders that, to become the OECD member, it will take some time. It's not going to be like a year, 2 years, or even 3 years. So the process, it will take about 5 to 7 years. But hopefully with the support of different members, we discuss it, we met with them, we present our case to all different members. So hopefully we can become a member within 3 or 4 years from now. But in the same time, we are look at our policy because we need to revise some of our policy, regulation, or even our law. So we are looking at those issues. In the same time, the progress report we keep updated to all different countries about OECD, because not only I think already that Indonesia, we are joining OECD, but we also joining RCEP, we are joining BRICS, but at the same time Indonesia, we are joining IPAF, Indonesia Pacific Economic Framework, US-led initiative. Because Indonesia, our foreign policy, we would like to work with every country, with every nation, as long as I create a mutual benefit. So that's why, we work and we would like to join all these different initiatives, and we can learn how we can improve ourselves in terms of a lot of things. And we strongly believe that we become a member of OECD hopefully 3 or 4 years from now. Thank you.
If I may add, on the national level, there is a interministerial task force that's been set up to pursue our accession to the OECD, and the government established 26 working group to continue this, to harmonize all of our regulations, so it will be in line at the same par with the OECD requirement. And my ministry has become a member of 3 out of the 26 working group. That's one thing. And secondly, I think this will be a long journey because it's not about changing our regulation, but it's talk about harmonizing our regulation. And it is part of our governance transformation that I mentioned in my earlier part of this piece as well. So this will be a journey for Indonesia. This to make sure that our membership in OECD can facilitate the trade and investment activities between Indonesia and the rest of the world at the level, at the standard which is acceptable at the global level. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess that is also something should be having very close relations with the request coming from the global demand. When we talk about this kind of how Indonesia joined with this OECD, accessing for this OECD, of course, as Minister mentions that we would like to level up the capacity of Indonesia that will be more well accepted by the global market, especially because in terms of investment, we know that investment is about winning the market. And now, the dogma for the new market is also about sustainability, about green, and about inclusivity as well. So I guess those are the things that the elaborations on the both speakers about this matters, and then we do hope that Indonesia is on the right path of putting ourselves in the global constellations, that we would like to be a part of global supply chain properly for this. Any other questions? Yes, please.
Thank you. Testing 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Hello, my name is Hai Teet. I'm with the United Nations Global Compact. I know it's been a hot topic for the past 2 years, but I was wondering if the ministers would able to comment on the digital transformation in Indonesia. In particular, any investments in industry, as well as any interventions in the education sector. Thank you.
All right. Yes, this question is addressed to both speakers, right? Yeah, okay. Yes. About digital transformations, right?
Yes, I think digital transformation along with energy transition is one of the priorities that we're going to now. And now we are preparing not only for the, we have to address the digital divide and so many things that be done. And we have an ICT council, which headed directly led by the president. And we're working on how for us to be able to prepare the platform to promote the digital transformation. This is not an easy issue. It's not about the penetration of the user of internet, but it's about as well the how for us to be able to have a personal data protection. We have to have a platform for us to be able to lessen the digital divide, and not only that, we need to prepare for the society 5.0. Where society living side by side within the digital transformation or the IoT thing.
Yeah, for our ministry, we are so we are also in the same time create a lot of special economic zone for digital industrial park. We create more, especially for example for data center. We would like to become a hub for a data center in the region. So we work with, actually quite recently, we have a continuous discussion with Singapore, with Malaysia, how can we create a hub for digital economy data center for not only for a certain country, but work as a region. So that's why in the same time we pushing our renewable energy, because when you set up a digital economy in the same time, you want to use a clean energy to support the digital policy, and also with the good plan to move forward, because currently the digital economy in Indonesia valued about 130 billion in 2025. We believe that the number by 2030 it will reach about close to 300 billion US dollar. So the potential in Indonesia is huge. If you are talking about the digital economy in Indonesia, currently still the biggest portion is on the e-commerce, but we look also the potential on the fintech and in any others. Technology can contribute positively in Indonesia. The most important thing is how we can accelerate this. So that's why in the government we try to come up with a good policy with a good regulations in order to accelerate the transformation of our digital economy. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Very warm applause for our both speakers. We are limited by time, but I know that we need to hear also the closing statement coming from both speakers before we close these sessions. So we would like to invite Febrian for your closing statements, and will be followed by Minister Roshan, please.
Well, thank you so much. It's not a very long closing statement, but I think I would like to invite all of those people inside in this room to work together with us, because I think the collaborative is the only principle that we're going to go forward with our national development plan. It's not a government plan, but it's a national plan. So it's every part of the component of the nation, as well as the foreign partner, will be very much become a major stakeholder in our endeavor to find our Indonesia Emas 2045. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak. Mr. Roshan, please.
Well, definitely we would like, you become a part of our remarkable journey to 2045. And we cannot do it alone. We have to work to synergize, to collaborate with a lot of different parties, a lot of different nations, a lot of different initiatives. And we strongly believe that we can achieve that if we can collaborate together. And for Indonesia, what thing I can say, Indonesia is open for business. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, so that's ended all the sessions for this morning. This is not one and only program in this pavilion. There will be some other sessions as well. Please do come and scan the program that it is available in our QR code here. Please do come to the next session as well. Once again, please giving us a warm welcome and also speech for this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Indonesia is undergoing a digital revolution transforming the nation. With over 280 million people, we're driving 8% economic growth through a digital-first approach, fostering inclusivity, efficiency, and competitiveness. A decade ago, nearly half of Indonesians were unbanked. A bold strategy aimed for 90% financial inclusion by 2024. Fueled by mobile banking, digital innovation, and financial literacy, connecting millions to the digital economy and reshaping the nation's future. Digital wallets are transforming how Indonesians pay, save, and invest. These platforms empower users to manage finances, plan, and invest directly from their smartphones, fostering financial freedom, savings, and entrepreneurship. The journey to a cashless, connected Indonesia begins with Dana Indonesia. More than just a digital wallet, we provide an inclusive, secure platform for financial help. With 180 million users, 102% transactions growth, and over 1 million of MSMEs empowered, Dana unlocks growth and drives sustainable progress. Experience the future of safe and convenient financial technology. This is Dana.
As the world economy continues to evolve, those who thrive are those with strong resolve. To innovate, reform, and stay ahead in the global adventure, in the quest to become a new economic engine of the future. We're on the road towards transformation by capitalizing our abundant natural resource in order to unleash greater added value for the people of our nation. As well as to uphold our commitment for our planet's infrastructure development. A promising terrain, brimming with potential. Offering 75% of potential global carbon credits. As well as harnessing our young and vibrant workforce. A home for extraordinarily diverse traditions and ingenious entrepreneurial minds. Emerging as the anchor of Southeast Asia's dynamic digital economy.